Hello again, everybody. This is Glenn with Best Price Nutrition, and today I'm going to give you an overview of the new Razor 8 from Allmax Nutrition. This is their new formula, actually just released today, so if you're watching the video, it's already on the market. Comes in two serving sizes now. This is a 60 serving, the other is a 30 serving. So they're giving you two options there depending on how much you're going to take. Let's go through it real quick. Alright, there's 60 servings in this one, 10 calories, no fat, 2 grams of carbs, that's all negligible. Directions is to take one serving, which is one full scoop before intense training with 4 to 6 ounces of water. And it says highly concentrated, never exceed 1 scoop at a time. So that's important to look out for. If you're somebody who is not tolerant to stimulants, because they do state that it's highly concentrated, start with a half scoop and assess your tolerance, work your way up from there. So let's go through the ingredients here. The nice thing about what Allmax is doing is there's no proprietary blends anymore. They go through and give you the exact amount of every ingredient, which is nice. So the first is their ATP enhancer myofibril acidification buffer. There's 3 ingredients in there. There's creatine monohydrate, creatine hydrochloride, and beta-alanine. So first 2 ingredients, creatine hydrochloride, creatine monohydrate, they're creatine. I think we all know what creatine does. It lends a phosphate group to ADP, which is naturally circulating in your body, thus giving you more ATP, your cell's energy source. So it's going to provide energy, enhance your strength output, things like that. And then beta-alanine, it is the patented carnosine beta-alanine that buffers the acid that dissociates from lactic acid, thus allowing you to get more reps within a set. You're going to have less of that burn feeling, and also get more reps throughout the entire workout. Now, as far as the dosages go, there is a full 5 grams of creatine per scoop, which is nice. So there's no need to supplement creatine outside of that. This is something you don't want to take every day, though, or you possibly could, I guess, if you're someone who, on your day off from lifting just wants that extra boost, but it is pretty concentrated, so you may only take it on workout days. So on days you don't work out, you would just take your 3 to 5 grams of creatine on its own to keep your creatine saturation. Beta-alanine is 425 milligrams. Now, serving size for beta-alanine, or I should say recommended dose, is around 3 to 4 grams, or generally 3.2 grams. So it's on the lower end of the beta-alanine, so you still would need some extra beta-alanine to reap the benefits of that. Next is their endothelial expansion hemodynamic volumizer, i.e. pump blend. Now, there is in here 4 sources of arginine. There's arginine hydrochloride, arginine pyroglutamate, arginine ethyl ester, so those are 3. Just 3 different sources of arginine, or I should say arginine bound to 3 different esters that are said to enhance absorption. And the last one is something called nitrosigine. I think I had that right. It's a inositol stabilized arginine silicate, or silica. So there's 4 different ones here. Now, if you've seen our videos in the past talking about arginine and pumps, on paper, arginine should increase nitric oxide levels and should then allow for enhanced pumps, things like that. But the problem is your body has homeostatic mechanisms that can inhibit that from happening. So your body will be at a balance. This particular nitrosigine formula, they actually did show that in rats, it did increase nitric oxide levels. It did increase your arginine levels, which are great. But the problem is those rats were obese, insulin-resistant rats. So they had something already, a metabolic condition wrong with them. So for many of you out there, you're trained, athletes who are working out looking for better performance. This may not increase your pump levels or give you any kind of pump just because of, the rats that they used in the study had a metabolic condition. You're otherwise healthy, I should say. And then there is an ingredient called Hydromax, which is glycerol powder. Glycerol, there's also glycerol monosterate. It can enhance your blood volume, so that can cause a pump aspect. You've got more blood flowing through. And then the next ingredient, agmatine sulfate, adds AgmaPure, 365 milligrams. General dose of agmatine, 500 milligrams to a gram, so it's pretty close to the 500 milligrams, so you should still be able to reap some of the benefits of agmatine, which would be, there is some promising research showing that it can enhance your nitric oxide levels. There's also a lot of research showing that it can increase your pain threshold, a lot of spinal cord research, so that's nice. So yeah, the main thing in here for the pumps, I would say, will be the agmatine. Next, and this is what the basis of the product is, this next formula. Their CNS stimulation FFA release beta agonist blend. First is their caffeine, 272 milligrams of caffeine. So that's about as much as an extra large coffee, around there, maybe a large coffee from Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, wherever you prefer. So it's a higher dose, so if you're someone who's not tolerant to that, take a half scoop to assess your tolerance. Hegenamine hydrochloride, also known as norcochlorine. This is an ingredient that on paper should have very similar effects to ephedrine, but it just hasn't been shown in humans, but it does have a stimulatory effect. So it will give you a little bit of an energy boost or a stimulating effect. Next is Caffeine Malate, 24 milligrams. Sort of what you would call a time-released caffeine. So total caffeine in here is 296 grams. So you're almost at 300 grams of caffeine, which is a pretty hefty dose. And that seems to be the trend with pre-workouts nowadays, is they're loading up caffeine because everybody's been taking pre-workouts. Their tolerance is pretty high. So just so you know, about 300 milligrams of caffeine. And then there's an ingredient called Arginine hydrochloride, 22 milligrams. This is in here because that norcochlorine ingredient has a very short half-life. It's thought that by combining Arginine with it, it can enhance the time it's in the body doing what it's supposed to do. Does it work for that? I'm not sure. There's really not research out there showing that those two have been taken together and enhanced performance. But again, you'll still get a stimulating effect from that norcochlorine ingredient. And then there's yohimbine hydrochloride, 4.5 milligrams. So this is a lower dose of yohimbine, but it's good though, because a lot of companies will just throw 18 milligrams in there and you take it and you get horrible side effects. And that's if you're someone who doesn't respond well to yohimbe. So that's something to watch out for if you don't respond well. And you'll know, the side effects you're getting. You'll get cold sweats, jitters, things like that. Just an overall sense of just being very uncomfortable. If you have a problem with yohimbe, this is not the product for you. If you're someone who has taken it with great effects, in the past, you can handle it. By all means, great. That's a great ingredient to have in here. It will provide some stimulatory effect, and also it does have some great fat burning potential. Okay, so that's the main player behind in this product. The last is their polymethoxylated free-form fatty acid release extension hyperlytic acceleration, 15 milligrams. That's just yerba mate green tea and naringin. The naringin is in there because it's said to increase the absorption of a lot of these ingredients. Yerba mate, maybe because it's an antioxidant, does usually provide a small amount of caffeine, but at this point with 10 milligrams, not much in there. So that's all the ingredients in the product. What's the difference between this and the other formula? The other formula, actually there was the original Razor A formula, which contained the 1,3, and then obviously they had to remove that, and they removed it and they didn't quite put in any crazy stimulants that people were looking for to sort of replace the 1,3. So this is their third step. And this has some extra stimulants inside of it, a high dose of caffeine, and I think the original had 300 milligrams of caffeine too. So if you're used to the original formula, you should like this as well. So this is really hitting on a full dose of creatine, which is nice. It's got a lot of caffeine, a lot of stimulants inside of it, so you should get that boost in energy from that. So yeah, that's pretty much the basis of the product. It is a pre-workout. You don't generally need to take it on off days. Take about 15-30 minutes before you work out. You should feel the effects. Comes in 3 flavors: watermelon, berry, and key lime cherry. Key lime cherry has been a new flavor that they've had out in some of their other products, and it's a bestseller for them, that particular flavor. So I haven't had this yet. Well, I can't say yet. I don't respond to yohimbe pretty well, so I won't be. But if you're someone who does, you'll like it. But the key lime cherry is very good in their amino core. So I think that pretty much covers it. With regards to this product, it's not gender specific, can be taken by a man or a woman. Obviously, if you're not tolerant to stimulants, start with a lower dose, work your way up and up from there. This being 60 servings, so you could actually, if you're taking a half scoop, you can get 120 servings out of it, which is nice, and it's not overly expensive. It's not one of those $50 pre-workouts. So, and it's got 2 sizes, which is nice. So, if you have any other questions, go ahead and post them in the comment section. If you liked the video, please give me the thumbs up. And if you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/bestpricenutrition. Thank you.